Hey there, everybody. Reed here, conductor at Orchestra Farm. I'm gonna go do a little farm walkabout before I start my work day. And today's gonna be my last work day for like 4 or 5 days, I guess. Why, you might ask? Well, the men's group is going on an adventure to Vargas Island. Oh yeah, out on the Pacific coast of Vancouver Island, here in British Columbia. Pretty stoked on that. Love the ocean, and yeah, just love the ocean. Now, what I want to chat with you about this morning is the notion of men's groups, or men's work, or how we support each other. And this notion that this men's group that I'm part of, Manventures, focuses on doing different adventures primarily. And so we're an active group, and as we're active, it builds a lot of trust amongst people. Although I sometimes question how much trust it builds towards me, because I like to play games within games. So when everyone else is playing basketball, I'll just be on my own team and playing with everybody. Some people hate that, and other people give space for it, which is incredible to be in a group like that. And so even in that, sometimes you get to know people on more of their personal levels, where maybe you don't want to play with a person because they're going to be playing with a different rule set, and other times it's like, oh, that actually adds fun and intrigue into the game. And I've been part of different men's groups in different moments in my life, and a lot of times we are sitting around talking about things. And don't get me wrong, sometimes we need to sit around and talk about things. We do that in our group every now and then. Maybe like 3 times a year we'll go and have a fire, sit around and listen to each other, whatever we want to share about what's going on in our lives and such. And if that's like something that you need in your regular life, I would maybe think about therapy as an option. Why do I say that? Because seriously, me and my friends, none of us are trained professionals in terms of like being a therapist or whatever. And not to say that we don't have advice that is at times useful, but you know, be mindful that you want other opinions and ideas with what's happening in your life. And if all you're doing is talking to your friends about it, you might need some outsider information, because maybe all your friends think too much like you, and so you're not getting that honest feedback that's better suited to everything. But developing trust with a group is crazy wonderful, and it's the kind of thing where once that trust is established in its different ways, then when you do have those heart-shared drop-in moments, people can be more vulnerable with each other. And I think that for a lot of people, being actively engaged in different activities, and at sometimes being activities that like you're not all that comfortable with. For instance, I'm not a super sports guy personally, and so playing super sport games, I'm just like, yeah, okay, I'll do that, but that's my personal boundary edge. Whereas I contributed an idea of an adventure, which was to go for a hike and then you know, do some nude drawing. We actually got a decent turnout that night, and it was definitely boundary pushing for a bunch of fellas. But you know what? It definitely added to the feeling of like being closeness and working on those boundary sets. And that's what I like about the group, is that we don't just do one particular activity. There's always an opportunity to open up a new thing. Some nights it's playing music, other nights it's doing stand-up comedy. Some nights it's playing basketball or ultimate frisbee or soccer, or going for a hike, stargazing, you know, going for paddles. We live on an island, so that's pretty great. And you know, with all that, hopefully at some point you're doing something outside your wheelhouse, while at the same time building connections with the people who are in your life. And I know that's what's happening for me. Feeling pretty stoked on it. Let me know how you connect with the people in your area. whether it be, you know, based off your gender or based off a particular other quality that's in your life, and how those relations are growing. I'm checking out the Self-Reliance Festival. It's happening in Camden, Tennessee, and I'm thinking, that's a good idea. Why doesn't that happen up here? We need that here too. I feel like Reed traveled there. I'm like, yeah, someday I'll travel again. Not right now. Anyway, with that, hope you guys have great days. Remember to have too much fun, because your gauge has to change with that over time. Enjoy.